Yeah, that's what I got here. Well, not a notebook, more like a notepad. Brainstorming begins. That is a good start. Uh, yeah. All right. So, I mean, okay. So let's let's talk about what we want this to be exactly. Do we want this to be a group of 40 somethings talking about Overwatch? Is that the basic premise? We are going, yeah, we are going to break the Blizzard algorithm. We will understand SR gains and losses. No, well, exactly. We have life experience instead. Yes, and we do not have the rashness of youth. I don't think we do. For the most part, I found that either we do get tilted but keep it under control, or like, I mean, I used to get tilted so much when I was like my teens. My teens was just me throwing the controllers, smashing stuff. I mean, that was that. I mean, I especially. I mean, this was way back before multiplayer, right? Like before PvP. So I would just get so pissed at losing to the computer. Losing to the computer just tilted me off the planet. But anyway, so let's say that our guiding thread is going to be this experiment. So, so here's what I don't want this to be. I don't want this to be perceived as competing against what Dilemma's doing, or trying to steal his thunder, or like like you understand what I mean, like
Oh
piggybacking off
no,
his
no.
success. You know, I want this to be either having the Lama's official blessing and having him on here soon, and so like
Well,
I
okay.
don't want, yeah,
Just
or yeah,
that. Oh, on that thought. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I have a bad habit. um, so I have been talking to the llama about this project. I don't want to speak for him, but he'll be able to speak for himself very soon. He is very excited. He thinks this project kicks ass. I see it as an opportunity to help promote the farm because I think it's really a very positive, great experience for people to have. I think it's a very good community, and I would totally endorse it 100%. If I
I,
can have fun doing this podcast thing, and we can help support the llama, get some people into that environment that are equally as badass, that's fucking cool. I'm down for it.
yeah, awesome. I'm
Yeah,
happy to hear that he's excited about it.
yeah, absolutely. So
He,
further,
he could technically be one of us. I mean, he belongs.
he,
He
he
belongs.
he does absolutely. He is very excited, and I may or may not have asked him if he would be interested in being our first guest.
That would be a great start.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, either we do a guestless intro, explaining what we're about, what this is going to be, or we just have him as a guest at some point in the first episode. Because I don't know, do we want to have a guest segment, or do we want to have a guest for the whole episode to be present? That's one question I was asking myself.
I think that it would be awesome to have a guest segment. Obviously, we have to come up with a format. Like, what is the timing going to look like for this thing? Do we want to spend an hour doing this thing? No, we want to spend 2 hours doing this thing? Because 2 hours is kind of long.
That'd be long.
Right, so...
I was thinking actually under an hour.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want this to be taking up so much of our time that we're not going to have time to do very much else. I mean, there's going to be preparation to this. We got to have to think about. I mean, so the first thing, as I said, I don't want this to be stealing thunder. Second thing is I don't want this to be a couple of almost senile 40-year-olds rambling and making no sense. There needs to be a topic of the day or a format that is cool and catchy, and I mean, I don't want us to be a bunch of 40-something boring old people talking on and on.
Absolutely, I think that's the format. Sorry, go ahead.
The other thing you need to think about is from the consumer side, who's going to sit down and actually watch or listen to an hour-long thing from nobodies.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if a half hour for the initial podcast or something might make more sense.
Yeah, I was thinking along those lines as well.
Yeah.
By the way, is this currently live / being recorded, or is this?
Yes, we are, and we have to have a fucking button or something that says Darkside, please remember to make sure you're not muted, because we missed like a lot of that first conversation. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But
llama level post-it.
What? Yeah. The whole like, why do you want to do this? Like, we missed that. I didn't record any of that conversation, so I'm sorry.
Whoops.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean what we just said at first here? You didn't record?
Yes. Yeah, the audio didn't record, so I'm sorry.
Like the last time. So, like, this last video you did, you were muted for quite some time, but we could hear ourselves talking and responding to your muteness.
Yeah, my OBS, so when it turns on, it automatically defaults to mute. So, unless I turn the mute off, it says, so I have like prep time before I start recording. I have to actually like sit down and make sure the layout's alright and make sure that everything is unmuted, update the titles and stuff. So yeah, alright.
That is.
I have a list of shit that I have to do, which I don't mind doing. I'm actually I need a winter project. My work slows down in the winter, and this is I've been wanting to do a podcast for a really long time. So I'm actually way psyched to do this, and willing to do quite a bit of legwork to make some things happen. So,
right. I feel that I should disclose that I know next to nothing about any of the technical part of this.
But it sounds to me like you're willing to learn, which is more important than the knowledge you come in with.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and honestly,
that's seriously, that's how all this shit works. Is the worst thing you can have is somebody come in and like, I know how to do all this stuff without like, and Darkside, it sounds like you have some experience, so I'm not talking about you, but I'd much rather have somebody that's willing to learn and somebody that's willing to teach rather than two people that are like, this is how we're going to do it, and we get into a pissing contest over which OBS you use and all that kind of shit.
Oh no,
no way.
Full disclosure, I am making this up as I go along.
Right, but that's what our group does well, is we're going to be able to watch the experts and learn from them, just like we suck at Overwatch, but we're going to get better by watching and listening to the experts.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so the farm, just to like keep on plugging how fucking awesome of a community is full of amazingly talented people.
Yep.
So if we need a sound engineer, I have people we can ask questions to. I understand all the technical background. I'm a tech. So, and you guys are all fucking crazy smart. So I don't really doubt there's.
Don't sell yourself short, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh no! I believe me. Like that's what I'm saying is that like if you give me a tool, I can figure out how to use it. And I used to build websites, so I do understand how all this stuff works. This is where I fit into this. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, sorry. I lost my train of
part
thought.
of being the over 40 group is a whole lot of potters involved.
Yeah,
That's pretty much.
That's yeah.
I know. I'm not going to out anybody else specifically, but I know that the green hay is pretty popular amongst a lot of the farm. So.
Yeah, it is. For Al, for Llama. So basically what I told him was that I thought it would be cool if we did an interview where he talked about himself, obviously, because anybody that comes on, we want to plug them, right? If they're a coach, they want to get plugged. So.
I don't know if he's done it before, but I would be very interested in hearing how he came up with his project initially.
That's what we're getting at. Like that. Like, why'd you come up with the farm? What is it? What the fuck are you doing? Questions like that.
Well, just how the fact that he took a YouTube channel from nothing in January to 1,500 plus subscribers by October. I think he actually hit that mark in September, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, how does a man build a brand like that? I think these, our users or listeners want to know.
In his own words.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Okay.
I think that could be cool.
So, as we were saying earlier, that we want this to be about the experiment, at least initially, right? I mean, we're going to. So, do we want to kick it off once we're all at 25 ready to go? Would that be the idea?
Well, I think we're going to be. I think phase 2 of the experiment will start once we have our roles assigned. I think phase 1 is we'll hit phase 1.5 when we start playing comp, but I think until our roles are actually static, we're not going to see a lot of growth, just because from a learning perspective there's so much to keep track of, especially from my perspective, going from a one trick to playing all the new roles, but even just playing with each other. Jin's going to tank completely differently than Dark tanks, and getting used to Jin one time and Dark the next is going to be jarring for us. It's going to be good because we're going to see over time who naturally kind of gravitates towards what roles, I suspect.
I mean, we already have our affinities, right?
Yeah. I tend to line towards support, but we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. It could end up being that I end up being the tank because for some reason that ends up working. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but we'll see.
We could totally make an episode about attributing our roles, to it live, basically, because
draft pick.
Because what I enjoyed, I watched your first episode, not quite all. I watched the first episode we did a few days ago up to about the Nepal map, and some of the fun parts for me was all when we were just exchanging anecdotes and shit, and having just fun talking. So I don't mind that there be some of that in the cast, but not it being all about that.
Yeah.
Like throw in a dad joke. It'd be cool if you had a signature dad joke every episode or something.
Pun of the day.
Pun of the day.
But I mean, I'd like to have a guest segment, and it would be really fun if we could get a different or you can get recurring guests for sure. But if we could have at least non-consecutive guests every episode.
Well, I thought the idea was to have a coach. So I think
Aim's our coach.
Right.
Aim is a coach that has agreed informally to coach me, to coach you guys.
Okay. So that works even better because we can also then get guest coaches I'm
Yeah.
sure Llama would be happy to do it. Ray would be willing to do it.
Yeah, and that's what we just offer them the opportunity to plug themselves. You guys can,
Yeah.
yeah.
And anyone, I mean, and we could, who could we host though? Like, could we host, like maybe like the guys from there was Golgar, there was,
the
Captain,
Foul
the guys
League?
that, but yeah, we could host like the guys that won Foul League.
Yeah.
We can also do a lot of crossovers, so
Yeah.
we can figure out whatever Golgar is doing, because especially since I think he has some more time coming up, a little bit more free time, he may be trying to grow his stream,
Yeah.
and so we can do a lot of crossover, because again, I think, while I like building up the Llama brand, I think the farm brand is really what's going to help Llama grow.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
emphasizing all the value in the farm, and so the more crossover we can have, so like having Ruben on, because he just did that great Cheers intro, where we can have people talk about the different things about Overwatch, because that's where we can hit. I imagine what's going to happen is we want to have our general pattern and format down when Overwatch 2 launches, because that's when there's a good chance for us to make a serious breakout into more mainstream. Does that kind of make sense?
Mm-hmm. I actually
Yes.
had an idea today about to have a segment kind of around the farm, and just kind of like go over like what's coming up this week on the farm. That means Foul League stuff. That means Friday Night Pugs. That means so it kind of like act as like the broadcasting
Absolutely.
network for the farm. And you missed
The farm announcements.
yeah, exactly. Okay, there you go. Yeah, like post it up on the
it's
board,
like
like
school announcements back in high school.
right, exactly.
Weekly we can do the here's what's up on the farm.
Oh no, that would be so awesome if we could get that little get the sound effect like a microphone. That's like it's cool. So I think you missed what I was saying about my intent for this, but my personal feelings on what this should be, and it's basically
Yes, I did. Sorry, I was late.
what you just said. It's all about the farm, helping everybody realize that the farm is a wicked fucking badass place. That the Llama built something really cool. It's a really safe place for a lot of different people to play this fucking game. That for whatever reason,
And it's free. And
Yeah.
it's inclusive. There's no barrier of entry,
Exactly. We go out of our. I don't know. The moderators go out of their way to make sure that it's 100% inclusive for everybody, and that's hugely important. So especially in the gamerverse, it's a fucked up place, and it's good to have safe spaces. But anyway, so that's where I was coming from before we got in, and the part that didn't record, so now everybody heard that.
Perfect.
I did.
Right.
I heard it.
Well, you
Great
heard.
segue.
So as far as like setting up a format, like doing the farm thing, a round table, what's going on with the farm, treating the Foul League kind of like having like a sports desk, like, hey, this week around the farm Foul League, the Bronze Bandits fucking kick the shit out of the Sloths, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like treat it just like a sports announcer would do an analysis.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about that too is that, check this out, we get fucking Tux to do that for us. It doesn't have to be live. It can be recorded. We can just cut to Tux on the scene, and we can still do that on the day that we decide to go live with our stream. We just play that video.
Well, yeah, we pre-stage the videos like Llama does.
Yeah, exactly. Tux.
Okay, so there's going to be a segment where we talk about the farm. There's going to be a segment, and we don't have to do it like every single time, right? We could like mix and match segments that of the day, right?
That could even be the farm greetings could even be a sub project.
Yeah. We could have a segment where we talk about the experiment, how it's been going. Maybe get a graph or two in there, just like we did the other day, just to see some trends and like say things we found interesting about that. And then I don't know if we want to do this every single time, but maybe just take a look at like footage of something really interesting or something informative about like, oh, this was a great play that we did, or oh, this was a big problem that we should have, like, I don't know.
Most teachable moment.
Like coach's corner segment
Yeah,
kind of thing.
like the most the teachable moment of the week or something like that. Something where we really captured here's a great example of standing and choke too long, or here's a great example of backtapping, or here's a perfectly done flank.
So the video aspect of what we're doing of the project is actually broken up into two parts. We have our group play, which we record 3 to 5 games, and then we live stream ourselves actually analyzing one of those matches, right?
That would be the idea.
Right. So check this out. So we, as a podcast, do basically kind of like do the same thing, but more or less like just kind of zoom through it and pick out more of the, and we can talk about this on Wednesday, so that we can take notes as a group, like what we think is the best play or highlight of that match, or which segments of the next match that we want to show during our thing, and then that segues into the guest coach going over maybe the third match with us and talking about it with us. So that way we do 3 matches on Wednesday night. We talk about it as a group. The 2 of us talk about one kind of like in a highlights aspect, and then the third match we review with the coach, our special guest.
Is someone kind of taking notes here?
I am, yep.
Perfect.
I've got a few.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so now if we want to keep this at 30 minutes or under an hour, I mean, we can't go, sure, we could go over a complete match, but we can't spend an hour on it, right? I like the idea of what we sort of did the other night where we just looked at one specific aspect of what went wrong with the map like that time, or we could do because otherwise we're just gonna go on and on and on. It's gonna take an hour, right?
We could even do a teachable moment in the Dunce's corner or something like that, where we just highlight here's the what went right, here's the what went wrong.
Now, I would like here.
Hey, like VOD reviews take like fucking 10 minutes. We didn't take that long when we did ours. We did our whole entire thing in about a half hour. So it doesn't take that long to go through a video. I'm thinking like maybe spend 5-10 minutes reviewing a match. Like you said.
Are people actually going to want to sit and watch the entire VOD review?
No, we do it like kind of like the Llama does. It's not the whole thing. You kind of speed through it. You're not breaking down every fucking aspect of it. We're just.
But
like you
also,
said.
I don't want to what I'd like it to be is okay. So let's say something didn't go good. I don't want this to be about shaming the player that missed.
Oh yeah.
I want this to. If this could be self-deprecating, that would be awesome.
Well,
that is exactly because we're learning. That's part of what Over 40 Watch is. We will never be able to keep up with the reflexes of the kids. We will always be behind the curve in everywhere but our minds and our ability to learn and adapt.
You have just summed up exactly what we said just before you arrived.
Yeah, and that's what I really want to leverage is those things. And so I don't think it needs to be kicking the person when they're down. We recognize that each one of us makes stupid mistakes. Each one of us it's not that the mistakes make us bad players. It's, hey, I've now realized that this is what I do, because I say it all the time, but the first step is, I shouldn't have done that. The second step is, I shouldn't be doing this. The third step is, let me not do that. We need to catch ourselves and own our mistakes as soon after as we can.
Yeah.
At least that's what I think.
Oh no, I'm 100% there with you. I agree 100%.
Yeah. And it would be cool. I would think it would be cool if occasionally we could find some kind of topic that we don't quite agree on and have a debate about it.
Yeah.
But we'd have to find that. Like, for instance, stuff like Elo Hell.
Yeah.
I don't think we believe in Evil Hell. Our little group wouldn't. I don't expect us to believe in that. But something that could be sort of / controversial.
Yeah, I think ultimately I think that some of the analyses that we're going to end up doing is going to lend itself towards realizations like that and discussions like that. because I both believe and don't believe in ELO hell, and I can probably argue both sides, which means if I see that the group is going to have a consensus, you guys have seen me do it already. I will stand up and say, hey, there's another side here. Let's discuss it just to make sure this side doesn't have merit, because that assholery is one of the big attributes that I bring to the table.
That's great. Like, we could have a segment about tilt. We could
Yeah,
have a
that was-
segment about,
If we
like,
want to tie it back into Cindy, that was actually one of the questions that I had asked to Cindy way back when she was trying to start her Neuro Corner. Was
why didn't she pursue that?
I know, but
awesome.
that's just it. The farm's going to have all these projects. We're treating it like an incubator facility. And
Yeah,
that's all
right.
that it is. And some of the projects are organically going to succeed or organically going to fail. But there's nothing to stop us from now, as members of Over 40 Watch, pinging her and saying, hey, do you want to do a guest series
Yeah,
here?
absolutely. That's a fucking good
And
idea.
so she was probably
That's-
staring down the barrel of, how do I do this whole big thing on my own? We're blazing the trail and we're doing the legwork for the farm as a community. And so, we could probably have a whole 1 week talking to Ruben and his music video idea, his Cheers thing idea. I think that was great. Stuff like that.
That was actually my idea.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. No, it started off with me having a bad day, and I rewrote some lyrics, and I came up. I thought it was actually started off for this, and then I kind of pitched it to Ruben, and then he did all the work. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah,
But there you go.
yeah.
That's how
But
awesome
that's what the farm
community is.
does. Is there's always somebody willing to carry the torch a little bit farther for you, and sometimes moving that torch 6 inches makes a difference. Sometimes, it's a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like Ruben, you gave him the idea, he ran with it. I think there's going to be a lot of ideas that we can help nudge people into that content creation. Again, I'm not trying to throw Cindy under the bus, but I am definitely telling her where to be and where to be there.
And, I mean, as a fellow scientist, I could definitely, host that with her. I mean,
Yeah.
we are both
Yeah.
scientists, so I could
Perfect.
assist.
And it's going to be so much easier for people to be a guest host than to actually start their thing. And so I think we have. What I'd like to do is, if we can generate, some arbitrary unit of time, like 3 to 6 months worth of sketched out ideas, then now
Yeah.
we don't have that creative slump that inevitably happens, and we can watch it grow organically. Because where I think some channels really shoot themselves on the foot on startup is they don't realize that there's going to be these creative lulls. And so they end up chasing that, I need to put out content this week, or it gets so overwhelming that they don't. The more that we can have the ideas of, we don't have anything for this week, so let's just go ahead and use this already shelved one.
So
I think
are
would
we?
also work.
That was one of my questions as well. What are we aiming for? Is it a weekly, a bi-weekly?
Weekly.
You want to do a weekly?
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna have to meet weekly, if we're playing weekly, and for the experiment to work, I think we have to do it weekly.
But I mean specifically the podcast.
For the podcast, yeah. What do we want to? Because also, I imagine we're going to release all of the meetings like this and stuff as public record. But this is not going to be what we want our users to listen to. We're going to want our actual listeners to listen to the actual us playing the game. It's just kind of if you want to see how we created this and pop the hood, because hopefully somebody listens to us and eventually has their own ideas, and being able to see how we started it up and how the farm works, again, as that incubator facility, and tie it back and blah, 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 blah. This is how I think, this is what I'm imagining for our podcast platform.
Yeah. All right. So.
Sorry, I get rambly.
It's okay.
Oh, so every week we want to put out an episode,
Yeah.
and obviously there are going to be times that it's going to be hard to do,
Yeah.
Christmas, New Year's,
Well-
that kind of thing. We could take a break there.
Yeah, and
Well, I
also
would recommend, especially while we're early on, if we could get a couple done early, if and when people have the time. So ideally, right now everyone's excited. We could release this right now if we wanted to, but maybe hold on to this one and do that as a month from now.
Oh, this is actually live, dude.
How
Oh,
it began.
Sorry, sorry.
It's live, but it'll be.
I thought I said.
So
yeah.
then scheduling is important because
Yeah.
people. One of the things with live stuff is people need to know when to tune in.
Yep. Exactly. I'm working on scheduling too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And again,
Right.
feel free to verbally kick me in the shins. I'm not trying to be an
No,
asshole. or
dude.
anything.
So everything that you say when I say yep, I got it. If I say that, if not, it's just a reminder of shit that I have to do. It's always good to have a double verification as long as we're all
Okay,
on the same page. And I'm a fucking space cadet too, so it's better that I know and I understand where you guys are all coming from, so that way I can. Yeah, we're good.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So as far as content and getting content, so we have the experiment. Do we want to react to things like new things of Overwatch? Do we want to react to Overwatch 2? Do we want,
I'd worry that's treading too much onto llama territory.
Yeah, that's something I don't want to do. Exactly. I don't want to tread on him. I don't want to like.
He's
Yes.
got the personality we like. Nobody's going to want to sit around and listen to our banter other than maybe hearing the occasional dad joke or, good, interesting scientific exchange type thing. But Llama has the personality and the charisma that people will watch his React videos. I don't think they'll watch any of ours.
Yeah, good. I didn't think it was good to do either.
But I appreciate you asking because that's the only way to,
In that,
I mean-
do we want to do like Overwatch news? I mean, not react, but
Yeah, just report.
yeah, kind of like if something big
going
happened.
back to that farm report, I mean,
Mhm.
that is definitely
Out.
something.
Something we could put in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because if we could have content up until Overwatch 2 releases,
Mhm.
there would definitely be a change. I mean, the experiment
Yeah.
would it have to become something different?
Yep.
Um,
But that's why I want to get as many of the nuts and bolts going as possible. Because, my vision is to keep it as modular as we can. So, what our format is for how often we release doesn't change whether we're playing Overwatch 1 or Overwatch 2. What our expected, topics are doesn't matter whether Overwatch or Overwatch 2. But at some point, we're going to have to switch over. Hey, what's up, Crow?
hey man,
Hey, what's up?
we're just talking it out.
And
hammering out
FYI,
what
we
this-
are live.
Yeah, we are live, so you can come back and hear everything that was put.
The red light was on.
So,
Go ahead. Beach.
yeah, so okay, so far I like the idea of having the news. I like the idea of having some footage or reviewing of a segment of what we had done that week. A full
Highlights and
match-
lowlights.
Yeah, a full match review, unless we had a guest coach that could really rush it and cut to the chase, I feel would be probably too much. It would hog the episode if we're trying to keep it, unless we wanted to do
Well-
like a special 1 hour episode of that at some point.
No, not a full review. Like I said, a quick review. It gives us an opportunity, one, to plug somebody who can help. Help us plug somebody who can help plug us, and two, give us that kind of like cred with coaches. So give us like
Yeah.
a quickie review. What do you think we
Yeah.
did? What do you see? Glaring
and
issues.
that's how we can probably eventually leverage into stuff like getting stuff reviewed by Spilo and
Exactly.
even higher level coaches.
Exactly. We have to have the format for other people to want to do it with us. Like, hey, that's a
Yep.
good way for us to
Yeah.
plug. That's a good way for
Man,
that's
if we could get Spilo and like Temporal and those guys.
Well,
in
but
here,
that's just it. We
I
can leverage,
would be so nervous. Holy crap.
but we can leverage the farm brand and help everyone because that's what Llama's trying to do. Is he's also trying to help raise all of the other streamers. Like, who is the one that he just promoted recently that created all the drama?
I forget what we're talking about. He did a good job.
No, but yeah, it was this streamer, and I've watched his stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
I never would have found him except for the llama,
Oh,
and so we can get some up and coming coaches. Yeah, I think this is great.
the llama and I also live 45 minutes away from Flats, so I'm just saying.
Nice.
Just saying. We can get together, have some beers. Flats, if you ever see this, I'll do you. We'll get some beers. We'll be all right. We'll be best friends.
No.
Also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something I was thinking about earlier today was Golgar. He's got some kind of podcast going on, doesn't he?
he does live streaming, and he also does D&D live stream.
Yeah, that's what I caught some of that from him a few times.
Oh, is he the one that hosts the Friday night games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will definitely be a part of what's going on around the farm, is talking about the different D&D stuff that we do.
Yeah. That's another thing I was thinking about today. So, I mean, yes, we want this to be about Overwatch, but we could have the occasional board game chat.
Yeah. Well, that can all be part of the farm report.
Star Wars chat, stuff that we
Yeah.
find interesting as 40-somethings grew up in the 80s.
It's almost like the entertainment highlights of the farm.
like I don't know, like a fantasy must-read segment
Yeah.
kind of thing. I know we've spoken like us. I mean, Pro and I and you too, Geek. I think we had this discussion about what to read and stuff like that on off-topic once. Like that kind of thing was cool.
Yeah.
So just so I can some notes I've been taking. So let me see if this guy gets you as far as a format for a show goes. What I got is a short intro. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? This is Dr. BJ in the Dark Side. Do a quick project update. How the project's going, what we're up to this week. Do some stats. Maybe get any one of you fucking stat guys to come in and just do a quick, hey, this is what's going on with the stats for the project. To give it.
Who's that guy? Is that you, Pro?
I'm sorry, who's doing what?
So go ahead.
Who's
I think
tracking
Dude Man and
stats?
Jin were the two that are more interested in the actual. Oh no, Crow! Yeah, you did have a bunch of the stats that you were already tracking.
Yeah, I was tracking some stats on my account to sort of see if there's any patterns that arrive that might be interesting.
Right.
That is a big part of what I want this experiment to be.
So if you three are working together on the stats thing, if once a week one of you guys could be available to hop on to the show for 5 minutes and just talk about that aspect of the project and how it relates.
Pull up a graph like you showed us the other day. Just one interesting one for the week. This is something cool we noticed about our journey.
Sure. So the question comes down to collection, because as you all are aware, Overwatch kind of conceals a lot of the information after the fact. So I'd only really be able to collect things in the games that I'm playing unless everyone makes it a point to, either screen cap or have some sort of log of their logs if it's going to be anything more than mine.
Yeah,
That is absolutely something that I wanted us to do.
Yeah.
If I have to start documenting my games, I can. Unfortunately, since I'm running Linux and Overwatch is stable enough to play, but I lose some of the more advanced features, I will not be able to screenshot.
So maybe we need to have another meeting regarding the stats and how that's going to be collected, so that we can make this a legitimate project, and you know what I mean, a baseline for collection and all that good shit and all that smart stuff. Make sense?
Yep. It'll be a discussion for another time.
Yeah. Okay. So the basic premise, and we can talk to Dude Man too with it later, is you guys have all the stats together for this, your individual or as a collective project, and then we do a little report on that and how it's going. So then after that is project update, stats, and then do a guest. This is the one that fluctuates. So if you want to do like a NeuroCindy update, segment, or have a special guest or whatever, if it doesn't happen, then we have a short episode. If we have a guest, then we have a guest. And then we have Coach's Corner. That's a short review. I'm just giving these stupid names. But so that's the short review of our third match from the previous Wednesday. And then we have the Farm Report, which is upcoming events, Overwatch news, Foul League with Mr. Tux, this conversation going down in general or whatever, then, whatever topic of the week that you want to talk about.
How much do we actually want to couple the Over 40 Watch and the Farm Report? Because I'm imagining that it's two almost separate things that are related because it's a subset of the Over 40 Watch. But I just wonder if it's too niche for the audience as a whole.
No, I think it's perfect. I think we're part of the community, and that's what we're doing.
Sweet.
We're trying to help them grow. So I think it's cool that we are old people talking to old people. Hi, old people. There's more of us out there, and I want you all to know that you have a place you can come and play, and it's not just kids fucking around. So, I want these are the cool shit that we do. Like the day we watched fucking Princess Bride. That was some badass shit. I love that. I want to do more of that stuff. And that's stuff that, parents, we don't fucking want to go out and go do shit. We got kids, and if I can sit and chill and watch Princess Bride with my kid, with all my friends, it's a good time.
Yeah.
So I think more people they'd want to know about that stuff that goes on in these communities. It's not a toxic environment. It's not a bunch of kids fucking swearing. This is legit shit that we do, and it's fun. And it's also not about just being competitive with Overwatch. It's actually a real community. So I think talking about the Farm Report as us, I think it all fits together.
And there needs to be a script about the topics of the day, but if this can be as unscripted as possible.
An outline.
That's basically what I just did, yeah.
That, exactly.
Yeah. And then, like you said, come up with a calendar. We can fill in some guests. We can talk to Cindy, talk to whoever.
We can make a list of guests and that we could approach, and then confirm that some guests are interested and some may not be at this time.
Mm-hmm. We can. Just
because you guys talked about NeuroCindy, but does anyone actually know that she's interested?
No, but we can.
Nope. I'm just taking she had expressed interest in starting her own project, and guessing that one of the things she ran into is, nobody wants to hear this, blah, 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 blah. But the more impediments that we can remove for her, the more likely she is to actually say what she wants to say.
If you give them a platform.
Video quickly became his most popular one, and I don't know if it still is, but that video was probably my favorite episode of his.
Yep.
So
she has to realize that people do want to listen to that.
Yep, but people also we all have lives outside of this. That's part of the experiment itself, is understanding. Everyone only this is a hobby for all of us.
Indeed. So the coaches for sure. Special guests like Cindy, outside coaches if we can get them. Also, when I say the coaches, I meant our in-house coaches, of course.
Mm-hmm. So what about, just to tie in the llama, what about approaching him with giving him the opportunity? So he makes these short 5-minute videos, right? Give him an opportunity to expand on topics. Once in a while, have him come in hey, you had a really interesting video this week. Could you want to expand upon that? Talk about it a little bit further from beyond what you were talking about.
That would be up to him to decide if he wants to do.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I'm just saying, what if we approach him about it with that? It's an interesting idea to fill in that time slot with guests. Yeah, and I'm sure more people will have more interesting ideas as far as who and what to talk about, and shit will come up.
Yeah.
When, where, and why.
Yeah, but more or less, I think having an outline on, an outline not scripted, but having that outline done is like the most important place to start because we can fill in the gaps from there.
Yep.
And I
And
could definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and yeah, if we can start that outline with a subject of each show, like I think we could knock out a couple of shows real quick, and that way we have our buffer in case something happens.
And we're probably going to discover some new interesting content as the experiment.
We're planning on it because
I mean, there's no telling. Like, if we all place at gold and then rapidly climb, that's interesting. Now, if we all rapidly fall, that's interesting too.
Yep.
But the most interesting I would find is some of us are climbing, and some of us are falling. I mean, in the sense that some of us are gaining a bit more SR on the loss,
Yeah.
some are losing, and how, is there going to be like some kind of spreading out, and then identifying, okay, you are doing something wrong clearly. We have to figure that out for you.
You are the weakest link. And again, again, as long as we can do it in a self-depreciating or otherwise teachable manner.
Yeah.
I never want anyone to feel called to the carpet.
But I actually find it as interesting to say, like, you're climbing more. What are you doing right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be a problem. I mean, it's good to call it out, but I don't think we pretty much. We had our VOD review the other day, and we all called each other out on shit that was going wrong, and I don't think any of us are going to take it personally.
I mean, as long as it's self-deprecating, kind of like funny. I want it to be light-hearted.
No, I don't think how. No, we are all serious here. My name's the fucking Dark Side. What do you want from me? Like, Jesus, I got a fucking Chad persona I gotta maintain here. Yeah, Dr. BJ. It doesn't sound like a porn star at all. No, doesn't sound like a porn star at all.
Wah, wah.
$10 is $10, right?
The amount of groups I've been in that I was just able to get in a good mood because they get a kick out of my name was, I don't know how many games I helped win just because of that.
Just because of your name, but that's what carried them through. Kept the mood light.
So cool. I think this is a good start. So I'm going to probably write out a few topics that I can see as being things we can talk about in the short, medium term.
Okay. And since you're the host of this shit, you need to come up with a catchy intro.
Oh, I have to come up with a catchy intro.
But you are the host. Yeah. You're the hostess with the mostest of the deep bass voice.
Alright. This is not in my skill set. I'm not the artistic one.
We'll come up with something for you.
But I will deliver anything that you want. You could find for me today.
The anchor guy, Anchorman, Ron Norman.
Yeah.
Just put some shit.
Oh, another thing I wanted to ask about. So obviously you have your cam right now.
Oh yeah.
Do you need me to have one? Because if that's the case, if you think it's better that we both appear, I'd have to get one.
It's up
and
to
I
you.
don't mind.
It is entirely
showing myself out there. It doesn't really matter to me that much.
It is entirely.
Are you good with me being on regularly and not showing my face?
I am absolutely fine with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you so I don't know if you I want to make sure that everybody is represented as well as they want to be represented. Take a look at my screen. I have everybody's fucking name everywhere. I have my name above my cam. I have Dr. BJ. Shit, I have to take this call. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Hello?
So I'll look into. I mean, I definitely doesn't matter if we start and I'm not there, and then that's when I show up. We'll see how it goes. All right. Other than that, what else did I have in mind?
Sorry, it was from work.
So when do we want to officially start?
Officially start what?
The very first official podcast, or is this?
Oh,
is
yeah.
this it?
Well, this is what this
Well,
is
that's kinda what I
version.
was saying.
This is version 1.b. Because Wednesday night comes first, and then we wrap it up. We
All
wrap
right.
up the week, so we are part B.
Because I mean more in the sense of the first one that's in the official podcast
Format.
Oh yeah, well that would probably be. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of growing into it, I think. So I think we should try for it next week. Try to just feel it out.
What time?
Um. Well, we need to come up with a consistent schedule, because.
Right.
But again, we also do have this option. We have the option of recording and then dropping on the day that we promise. So if we say
I
we're
would
gonna,
prefer that.
yeah, I mean if we can,
That would be easier because if we need to edit stuff, we can do it.
Mhm.
I can't obviously because I know nothing about editing, but you guys can for sure.
I actually don't know shit about editing. I'm going to learn. I'm going to teach myself, and I have the llama, so I'm hoping I can pick some things up. But,
Awesome.
it's not that hard. I've cropped stuff. I have all the fucking software. I have Photoshop skills, so I'm sure I can figure it out. But so so what day do you guys want to drop? Do it like Saturday? I don't think that's probably not a good idea, because if we're gonna do a farm roundup, everything happens on Fridays, on the weekends. So we should do it before the weekend.
Or do we want to do it like Monday night? Start off the week with the farm report.
But then we would have to make sure that we play our our weekly matches before that.
Right. Well, the benefit of releasing whenever we decide is, since we are deciding when to actually click go,
Mhm.
we can record, a couple of onesie twosie that again we don't plan to release. We start recording next week, but we don't plan to actually release until 2 weeks later. So we're always 2 weeks behind.
Then that messes up the farm report. Just doesn't.
Oh,
That's because that's going to be weekly.
bitch.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Unless we edit it to be the farm report current, but the footage
Yeah, I
2
hear you.
weeks behind.
So I get what you're saying. My favorite podcast, which is actually done by it's the same company, does 4 different podcasts. Took a month off, and they had content for the whole entire month. So I get what you're saying. It would be helpful to have. But yeah, if we're gonna do a farm report, it has to be weekly.
it messes up the farm report.
So I think if we're gonna do, what time? That doesn't work. We're doing our weekly matches on Wednesdays, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that means that we realistically kind of have to do it on Thursday.
But we did our weekly matches Tuesday this week, though.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that there's a little bit of room there. Like, it could be Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it just depends. Like, find that scheduling thing that Dude Man did. I think that can work.
Mm-hmm. What do your Sundays look like? How are your Sundays?
My Sundays, well, just to explain it out to you guys a bit so you understand. My wife works like the evening shifts in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes so I don't see her in the day, and I don't see her most nights. So the times that she's around, I really want to prioritize. That's her time with us, right?
I understand that.
So that's why I'm almost always available most evenings, because she's working.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids.
That's why I'm unavailable most of the evenings, but I'm usually available during the day. Is wife's working, and I'm puttering around on my own projects. But yeah, so we all acknowledge that we're prioritizing real life, and we can work around that.
Yeah. So I mean, so basically, what that means for me is that every second weekend, I mean, that she's not working. I mean, I don't want to be committed. I want to spend the time.
No, that's understandable. Okay, so
my
weekends.
wife also handles my social calendar, and she has regularly weekend plans.
Okay, so weekends are off limits. Okay, that makes sense.
But I mean, I could do every second weekend, though. That's the thing.
I can do weekends when we don't have stuff previously planned, but that's going to be intermittent
So
because
that-
she actually has a social life, unlike me.
That actually might fucking work because weekends are also a good time for special guests to be able to contribute, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
So what
It's
if
particularly our European guests.
so every other week we do a special Saturday or Sunday live cast with special guest, coach, whatever. We just shift our date. That's totally acceptable. We can do
Yeah.
every other week. We do it on this date, and every other week we do it on Saturday with special guests, or the longer segment that we need more time for because we're all more available.
Yeah.
yeah.
That make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So just to finish what I was saying about that means that like the days she gets off are almost always either Mondays or Fridays. So I'm always going to be a little less available on those days.
Okay.
But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, I almost always have week
Okay,
after week.
cool.
I mean, so those I can
So
work within those days, no problem usually.
So we could actually probably shoot for Thursdays then.
Yeah, we could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thursday is almost always my best night for this
Okay. So.
because I think Dude Man always has something going on. I think. Who else? Someone else I understood to have Thursdays not very open. Was it Jin? Jin, yeah, I think it was Jin with her daughter has dance or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So I'm putting down weekly on Thursdays. No, bi-weekly.
Yeah.
Bi-weekly Thursdays.
And then the other would be that weekend.
Yeah, and then bi-weekly Saturday or Sunday. Do we say Saturday or Sunday or Saturday?
For me, it's either or.
Okay.
The Saturday I'm free doesn't matter.
Let's do that. We'll just do the weekend. That we're free, and we can, if we keep a good schedule, we can just do that. Like, okay, so next week we're gonna be having our special, weekend broadcast on Sunday. Tune in, and you know what I mean. Sure. That's not that unacceptable. Fucking my chair. Fucking. Oh, there we go. I have my Secret Labs chair after 5 years. My baby the arm is broken.
Oh no! I once had a chair that I've had for, oh my god, I must have had it for almost 10 years. That thing just collapsed under me to the floor.
Yeah, mine it's a Secret Labs. It's fucking the most comfort chair I've ever had. It says The Throne on it. I mean, it's my baby. It's so fucking comfy. But anyway, maybe we can get sponsorship from Secret Labs. That would be great. Are you listening? Secret Labs.
Thinking big.
I want fucking sponsorship. I want money. Give me that TikTok. I mean that YouTube money. Just kidding.
Oh man.
Listen. The Hoof GP. Okay, that fucking. Do you know how much the average hoof trimmer makes in the United States? Just a wild guess. Hoof trimmer.
A hoof trimmer.
Yeah, hoof trimmer. Goes around farms, trims hoofs on cows.
70, 80 grand?
Wow. No. $36,000 a year. Okay? $36,000 is the average salary of a hoof trimmer in the United States. Do you know how much the Hoof GP Grant Parker, how much that motherfucker is worth? $3.6 million just because of fucking YouTube. Just because he has that fucking accent, and he has those pictures of that goddamn fucking... I mean, have you ever watched the Hoof GP? It's just amazing. It's so fucking, entrancing watching pus come out of hooves. Watching those hooves grind down, it's amazing. I love it. The care that he puts into it, it's just a fucking... It's messy. There's shit literally everywhere. It's nothing that anybody would ever want to do. This guy's worth $3.6 million because he put it on
Good
YouTube.
for him.
As he puts it on YouTube. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's
I'm not expecting us to do that well. But
you never know. Why doesn't anybody want to watch my fat ass talk about video games? Anyway,
Hey, everyone started somewhere.
exactly right. We're gonna do Matt's T-shirt of the week. This week is Boston Uprising T-shirt.
Nice.
Earlier it was the Rambo. I have a thing for graphic tees. I wear a lot of graphic tees. So. Anyway,
Alrighty.
I need
Well.
to go try to grab a little bit of sleep. I have to work tonight.
Yeah, you got an all-nighter.
Yeah, 9:30 until I'm done. It could be around like 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. Not looking forward to it, but work is work.
Yeah.
So,
Alright, well then, good luck with it.
yeah.
All right.
You guys
Have a good one, everyone.
have a good
Yeah.
night, guys.
Hey, have a